Before you read any further, I want you to know that I have not hyped up or altered any of what you're about to read just to scare you. I am not easily scared, and what happened to me frightened me more than I've ever been in a long time. That being said, you might feel the same way after you read this. The information, locations, and dates have not been changed in any way. It's important for you to know that I have been involved in ghost hunting for many years. I run tours at haunted locations for newbie ghost hunters and thrill seekers. And prior to the investigation, we have a short Q&A session. At these functions, it's almost a guarantee that someone will ask me if a ghost can follow them home. I used to say something along the lines of, I don't see why not. They can be bound to a certain area, but many spirits come and go as they please. But you probably shouldn't worry yourself. One night after an investigation of a Massachusetts residence, it changed the way I felt about that answer. The investigation was conducted as normal, and after we were done with the equipment and it was broken down, packed into the van, we went off. While driving back to Cranston, Rhode Island, to where our cars were parked, we discussed how we felt about the night. Nobody had any eerie feelings, and we all agreed that it felt quiet, and we could only base any further conclusions after what we find in our evidence review. It was shortly after 1 a.m. when I got back to my house. As soon as I walked through that door, I put my equipment case at the base of my stairs to my room and climbed into bed. I then proceeded to have the worst nightmare that I've ever had. The dream, it happened like this. I was alone. It was a dark night with a clear sky. The moon and stars were visible. Although I had no light to use, I could still see what was ahead of me. I was in a labyrinth of some sort, walking deeper and deeper into the winding pathways. The labyrinth had a tall, overbearing wall with small glass windows just big enough to see through. Every time I would look at the windows, a skeletal face would stare back at me on the other side. It was like the walls were hollow and something was following me inside of them. My heart would race if I looked at the windows, so I kept my eyes forward and focused on the maze. I finally came to the center of the labyrinth. There was an oval-shaped tomb-like building with a barred door on the front with 2 separate keyholes. Subconsciously, I reached into my pocket and pulled out a key. As I looked at the key, a hissing whisper came about in the background of the dream, saying, "This key has one purpose. This key can unlock this door." I put the key in the first keyhole and unlocked the door. As I opened the door, it was dark, but there was a faint glow of orange light that I can see from the top of a spiral staircase. As I began down the stairs, I encountered this cloaked, starved skeletal monster. Its skin was stretched tightly across its face and had very small patches of long, straggly hair. And as it held up a lamp close to its face, I could see more clearly. Its eyes were fixed on me, and it smiled, revealing a few black teeth. At this point, I ran back to the door. I tried to lock it, but the key would not work. I remember it saying that the key could only unlock the door. I started to trace my way back through the maze. Its voice became louder in the background as I unleashed it from its tomb. I can't remember what was being said because I was running for my life. I finally came to the exit of the maze. There was a short road that I followed that came to a driveway of a large mansion. I thought I was safe for a second, and as I started toward the house, the figure appeared again at the front of the mansion's gate. It held up its hands like a puppeteer would and conjured two large black dogs. The dogs chased me through the yard, and I climbed the fence to get away. On the other side of the fence, I ended up in some neighborhood that felt familiar, but there was no one in any of the houses. I entered a coffee shop and sat down at a table. All of a sudden, there was a loud banging on the windows of the shop. The banging became increasingly louder until I closed my eyes, and at that moment, I woke up. Unaware and confused for a moment, I collected myself. Then I heard banging. I thought I was still dreaming. Unluckily, this was reality. All of the hinge windows to my room were open. It is impossible to open these windows from the outside. There's a lock mechanism that goes through the top of the window and into the wall, which then has a sliding lock bolt come through the side of one of the mechanisms to keep the window from moving completely. Still slightly shocked, I closed all the windows. I then grabbed my digital voice recorder and hit record. I put the recorder on the edge of my bed and went upstairs to see if any more windows were open. None of them were. Upon returning to my room, I listened back to the recorder. While I was upstairs, I captured something or someone banging on the window again. It could not get it open this time, and with a frustrated, hissing whisper, it said, "Damn you." The same voice from my dream. It was the voice of that monster in the tomb. Whatever was behind that door that I opened, it was in my room that night. It made its presence known. Since then, there has been no sign of it here. I heard its voice. I've drawn its face. I will not forget what happened. You may choose to believe this or not, it's up to you. But from now on, I caution everyone. If you dabble with spirits, you need strong willpower. They can come into your life and they will do it. And when they do, it will be frightening. This happened the night of March 8th into the early morning of March 9th of 2014. This was written on July 9th, 2014. I hope you guys enjoyed this decently short creepypasta. I do apologize. The only other one I found would have taken me legitimate hours just to record and edit audio, and I unfortunately did not have that amount of time this week, so I apologize. But I hope you enjoyed the background music, because I actually had someone come forward and offer to make me some music for our videos here, and it is amazing. I absolutely love it. The song is called The Bodies Are Gone. It's by Disembodied Imagination is what the, I guess, artist would be. I don't know if he wants his name out there or what. I'm sure if he does, he'll comment it. But I will put all the info in the description below, because it is so good. It's like the perfect amount of spook. It's not like over spook, but it's not like not spooky enough. You know what I mean? It's like perfecto. But as always, ghouls, the last video will be on the top left. The next video will be on the bottom left. All my social medias are on the screen as well as in the description box below. And remember, there's always someone or something watching you.